Hey, hey, thanks for being on my YouTube channel here or watching this video if you're seeing it somewhere else. My name is Michelle from the Soul Translator and creator also of the Empowered Empath Soul Camp. And so I do empath mediumship, spiritual mediumship, and also energy healing, as well as a spiritual life and business coach, particularly for empaths and sensitive entrepreneurs. So that was a mouthful, right? So here in this video today, we're going to be talking about sensitivity, stopping sensitivity shaming. And I'm kind of doing a little twist here where we're going to be talking about it from the other side of the conversation. Okay, so this might be a little bit controversial. My hope is with this is that you will understand yourself more, and also when I say yourself, I'm talking about the person who doesn't identify as an empath or sensitive, because this video is actually for you. So if you know if you're an empath or sensitive, and you would like somebody who you care about to watch this video, please do share it, because we are going to be addressing some of this sensitivity shaming that people can unfortunately do. And we're going to look at, I have a couple good questions at the end that are really, the aim here is to increase the conversation and level of connection and compassion for us all. All right, so I have been getting a lot of people lately, and this is also the reason why I wanted to put this video together, because it felt like life was kind of poke, poke, poke. Hey, Michelle, why don't you do this video on this topic? I've been getting a lot of people pulling me aside or asking on social media or going out, you know, and having a coffee together, wanting to know more about what is all this empath and sensitive stuff? Why is it everywhere? Why does it seem like, you know, you're somebody's mother, brother, lover are claiming themselves to be empaths and sensitives? You know, why is it everywhere? It was actually the fourth most looked up word on Google last year. Interesting, right? Because the world needs more empathy. And thank goodness we are also stepping into more and more of that in our culture and society, with all of the incredible barrier breaking down of seeing and, you know, judging people for who they are, for what they've experienced, for how they identify themselves. So all of the different movements around Lives Matter are just beautiful and essential, and thank goodness we are healing a lot right now. It's a really rich time to be alive, and also it's a really sensitive and intense time to be alive, as we're changing so rapidly and having opening up so many vulnerable and different conversations. And this is one reason why, I mean, I am on the soapbox of Empath Lives Matter, because it is a Me Too movement as well, in our own way, because empaths of centuries and time past, you know, have been judged and ridiculed and even, you know, killed, and for having our sensitivities, having our different abilities, extrasensory abilities to feel and speak on and know of different the emotions and energies and experiences that others have. So, and today, you know, the level, the amount of people who are feeling, you know, this extrasensory world, this extrasensitive world, and for those who are empaths and intuitives and sensitives are feeling it tenfold. You know, it's a very prickly time, and it's a very emotional time, and many empaths and intuitives and sensitives, you know, have unfortunately, you know, had to do things to numb themselves out, you know, whether it's, you know, alcohol addiction, or whether it's drugs, or also having extreme anxiety, depression, agoraphobia. This way of walking in the world can be an incredibly challenging, yet also incredibly gifted way of experiencing life. So we're going to look at things actually from, like I said, from the other side of the conversation, because the hope here is that this is going to open up the conversation between you and your loved ones or friends and family. And also it's going to increase the compassion and the sense of belonging. You know, it's amazing. This is a little bit of a side note, but I was just thinking, it popped in my head, so I'll share it. This video I saw recently about this guy on one of those talent shows, and he was singing this song about belonging and being, different, being a freak, and the amount of passion he was doing this with was just everybody was just weeping, or the range of emotion was huge. And I think there's all of us can identify to this part where we feel like we don't belong or we don't fit in. So stopping sensitivity shaming is really is the topic of the day, the topic of this video. So when there is the spectrum of what people have been asking me has been on this one side of, I'm really curious about this. I want to know more. I'm seeing empaths and sensitives. I'm seeing this stuff everywhere. I really kind of don't get it, but I want to. Of course, the other extreme of that is, you people need to get a life. You think you're so special. You just, who are you? Who the F do you think you are? Come on now. So there's, these big swings on the spectrum. So these questions I'm going to put out to you are, like I said, in the hopes that this can open up a little bit of room and help with some of the connections that we can have with each other, and compassion to and for each other, and mostly for yourself, because anytime we're having a reaction or getting triggered by something, it's usually because it's inside of us. So that saying, when you're pointing a finger, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you. This is really fitting here. So sometimes when we are triggered by things, it is because, there's something that is right underneath the surface that we're not comfortable with, or that, is kind of unfinished or ignored inside us or denied inside us. And that's actually, it's kind of hitting a nerve. So that's why we have these stronger reactions. So that's the first question I want to put out to you. If you are, as a non-empath or sensitive, if you have any sort of the sensitivity shaming, or you have any of this, yeah, you guys are, just grow a thicker skin and get on with life. Come on now. I invite you to ask yourself about is there something about yourself or about your life that you wish you had more sensitivity to, that you wish you were more in touch with? So in what way are you potentially rejecting your own vulnerability about something? I mean, it's a very probing question, I get it, but it's really important to look at that and say, wow, why am I having such a reaction? What is it about sensitivity or this, vulnerability that's bothering me? And what is that? Does that have anything to do with me? Does that, possibly kind of get under my skin a little bit and make me feel like, I'm just irritated and it's just bugging me? So what is it that is possibly how does that possibly translate into your own life and maybe a part of yourself that you are rejecting? With that, the next question is what would you like to be more sensitive about? Where would you like to feel more connected, more in tune with? What is it about yourself or something in your life that you feel, if you were more sensitive to this thing or person or relationship or in your work or whatever, what would that bring you? What benefit would you get out of that? So the third question is here, and this is a kind of squirmy one, so brace yourself, which is, what are you getting out of judging? people who are sensitive or feeling that they have, or experiencing that they have a more emotional or energetic resonance to life and other people around them. When you judge them, what do you get out of it? How is that making you feel about yourself? So that's the third question. The fourth question, and the last one here, is what part of you would you like to unconditionally accept more of? What part of you feels vulnerable, that if you could have a more empathic approach, a more loving, connecting, unconditionally loving, sensing, feeling approach to something about yourself, what would you like to be more empathic about? So by asking yourself these 4 questions, you are opening up more of a healthy dialogue with yourself to create more tolerance, to have more compassion, and to be more sensitive to yourself. The world does not need insensitive people. We need each other. We need a sense of belonging and connection with ourselves, and then also with others around us, so that we all feel safe and included and loved. And by answering these questions, I'm hoping that you can, shall we say, take a moment and walk in the sensitive shoes of another, and see what it feels like. It's interesting. I mean, like somebody said to me the other day, they said, because I said to them that being an empath was like walking with, your skin kind of turned inside out, and feeling all of the, feeling everything around you. And I've had this said so many times to me, where people go like, why would anybody want that? That just sounds miserable. And it's not miserable. It's very difficult for empaths and sensitives who are not taking care of themselves, who are taking on the energies of everybody around them, who are not empowering themselves in their gifts. It's like anything. It's like if you are an incredible artist, and somebody, is not giving you the opportunity to explore your creative gifts, it can be extremely stunting. And so, of course, we don't want to get into victim mentality. That's the other side of it, where a lot of people who are on that edge of judging empaths and sensitives saying, oh, well, you're just using it as an excuse. People will always use things as an excuse when they aren't feeling empowered in something. People will excuse their actions when they're trying to deny or justify their own vulnerabilities in something. It's kind of the classic, thing where we will project our insufficiencies out on other people. And then when somebody says, hey, that's not okay, don't treat me that way, they go, oh, well, you're the one who's making me treat you that way. So we don't want to be in this victim consciousness. And at the same time, as sensitives and empaths, we all can be more empowered and more honoring and proud of who we are, and be that in the world as well. But that does take awareness, that does take self-management, that takes energetic management, it takes emotional work, it takes the inner work that we all have to do to be our, whole soul self. So with this, it's not about the victim consciousness and making excuses for ourselves or for others who feel like they can't handle the world. If somebody says that it's just, that it is tough for them, then respect that, then let them have their experience. And also, hopefully, they will get the support that they need in order to not feel so, feel so stuck or isolated because things are too intense out in the world, and they're empaths and sensitives, and they are having difficulties, engaging, and that's understandable. So, but criticism and shaming never solves anything. And often, anytime we want to, I'm going to say always, anytime we want to criticize or shame something, it is because it is something that we feel inside ourselves, or we're scared of seeing or feeling inside of ourselves. And so then, we push it out, we deny it. It's the same thing that we do with ourselves. When we're criticizing ourselves, it's because there's a part of us that we don't find acceptable. And, we aren't in a place of self-love and self-acceptance. We haven't done the work to get to that place of forgiveness or really letting ourselves love who we are, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So criticism and shaming never solves anything, whether we're doing it to others or whether we're doing it to ourselves. So please, let's stop the sensitivity shaming. Let's continue with a conversation that's healthier, and let's bring more sensitivity into the world and respect of it, because we need it. And it's healing, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful way to connect. All right. Thanks so much for watching my little impassioned video here, because we're all in this together. And the more that we can feel and honor who we are, the more we can feel and honor who other people are. And that's what makes the world go around, is that sense of love. All right. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.